get done playing around with the stock pipe clamp and you actually get it on, let me know. I'd like to hear success stories. In the meanwhile, because I didn't like that, I went and I made the Team FastEddy pipe clamp. And it's just too easy to put on. Makes life a whole heck of a lot easier. And it works. So we are going to use this pipe clamp. One of the very, very few products that we're going to use that's not stock from HPI. Just put 2 screws in and we're ready to go. So the next step is going to be step number 93. And step number 93, we're going to go ahead and get all the pieces and parts ready. And when we come back, we'll get started on it. So if you can get the stock pipe found, hooray for you. If you can't, get the Team FastEddy pipe clamp and you're ready to go. Much easier. Okay, get your stuff out for the next step. Step number 93. I've gone ahead and pre-installed 4 nuts into our bearing carrier for the lay shaft. 1, 2, 3, and 4. As long as we have this in our hands, we're going to go ahead and take your bearing. If you're using a Team FastEddy bearing, let's go ahead and swap it out. Use the Team FastEddy bearing. And we are going to slide the bearing down inside the little groove. At this point, we'll take this little cap, we'll press it down in to capture the bearing. Pretty straightforward. And now we are going to take the brake caliper block. It has a front and a back. This is the back, this is the front, and we're going to press these studs down into the holes. Not these holes, but these holes. On the back here, they are beveled a little bit to help you get those in. And you can put it in. I'm going to press it against the workbench here. May or may not be able to see. And it's going to press them in just a little bit. And then from there, I'm going to follow up with pliers, and we want it to come just to the end. So I'm just going to capture that and press it in. I'm going to do that on both sides. Been so long since I've done this that it just occurred to me, we're going to push these pins all the way through because this portion here is where we want the caliper to rest. So we're going to go ahead and push those all the way through if we can. There we go. And when we do that, we're going to want it to be even with the back. Readjust the pliers here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to put that on the bench and press it. And it's not wanting to slide through, so we'll use our pliers again. Best laid plans. I'm going to go ahead and put those in until they're flush on the back. Just like so. That's it. I believe that is, yep, that is all there is for step number 93. And we're going to move on to step 94. So go ahead and get all your pieces and parts out and we'll get them installed. The first thing that we're going to address in step number 94 is the brake pads. And there's a back portion here which has a little top hat on here. And then we also have a thicker plate, metal plate, that is for the front, and that's this one here. And I want you to notice there are some shims in there, and those are the thin ones, and we're going to want to use the thick one. They do have a habit of coming unglued, so I'm going to use some denatured alcohol, and we're going to clean off any of the molding solutions that are on the pads, or on the little metal portions here. I'm going to clean that off, and the thicker one, we're going to clean that off, just to get any grease off. Now we are going to put the brake pads on. And a little secret that I've learned, you want to get them on straight. So I'm going to use this as a template, and I'm going to slide this over just like that. As you can see how it's oriented there. The reason I'm going to do that is once we take the stickum off of here, I'm going to slide that on so it's perfectly aligned on the pad. So I'm just using this as a little jig. So we're going to take one of the pads, peel off the back, drop it on, and make sure it's all stuck on there. We're going to do the same with the thicker pad. I like using this little jig technique. Here we go. Now our pads are secured onto the backing plates. We're going to take the little bushing. It's got a little D shape in here. As you can see right here. Let's see if it'll focus in. Come on. There we go. You can see there's a little D shape on there. That's going to drop down into the top plate here, and you can see the D shape in the top plate. So we're going to go ahead and drop that bushing down in there. Make sure it's all aligned, and push down in until it's flush. At this point, we are going to take a quick break. Sorry about that. I was looking at the counter and I was almost out of hard drive space on my video camera. Okay, next step is we're going to take the brake cam, and as you can see there's a flat spot in here, and that flat spot is where the back of that brake pad goes, just like so. So what I'm going to do at this point is take that assembly like this with the hole pointed towards the top, and I'm going to drop that down behind the brake pads and set it down into that little bushing, just like so. We had rubber bands on here before, so I'm going to go ahead and take those off. Now we're going to slip the other section over the plastic block so it looks like this, and we're going to slide that in, capturing the holes with the studs so it looks like that. And it's going to leave us hanging for the next step. So don't knock everything off or whatever, so just hang loose. And actually no, we got one more piece here. We're going to put on the lay shaft bearing, and the nuts are going to go towards the back. And this is going to slide right over the lay shaft and underneath the top plate. And it's going to rest even with the rest of the objects here. You can see a little better angle there. and we're going to put screws down in the next step to hold everything. So, get ready for step number 95, and we're going to tie the entire brake system together and get that out of the way. Step number 95, we're going to go ahead and secure all of the brake components together. It's pretty simple. We're going to take the spacer, and it has a little drop down on the bottom here that you can see, and that is going to drop into the hole on the top plate. I'm going to try to tip the Baja here so you can see it, but I think everything's going to fall out when I do that. But okay, let's see, there we go. You can see the little hole right there. Look at that. Make sure everything stayed aligned. We also want to make sure that the back brake is in the cam properly before we get everything hooked up here. So let's go ahead and take our spacer here, and with the little drop down portion, that's going to go into the hole. And it sits on there just like so. And again, you're seeing that I'm making sure that this cam is properly centered and everything's in line there. Next, we're going to take our top plate, and there is a top and a bottom. The beveled portion that you see is the top, and we're going to insert the copper bushing in there, and again there's a D shape just like there was on the bottom, so we're going to align those and get this pushed in. Sometimes you have to use a little pair of pliers to get these pressed in properly. Looks like we may have to do that on this one. Yep, we're going to go, actually I'm going to go use my arbor press, but you can just use a pair of pliers and seat that down in there. So I'm going to go do that and be right back. I have the bushing pressed in. So now we are going to take it like this, and the bushing is going to go over the shaft, our cam shaft for the brakes, and the beveled area here is going to align up with the spacer that we just put in, and the two holes here are going to line up on the top of the brake pad holders. So hopefully that should just slip right down in. This bushing is giving me fits. Usually they just go right on.